Chrissy finished up at the station square. We now go down Station Road, which is
somewhere on the map.
There's a piece down there. We're going down there. Oh. You'll notice that King's Road was just a path. King's Road wasn't made into a proper road until 1939, when it was tarmacked. So we're going down Station Road. The first one we come to on the left-hand side is an opening. That was Billington's garage where they had a diesel pump. We go a bit farther along. On the left-hand side was Dillingham's, painters and decorators and plumbers. Yeah. On the opposite side of the road was the Iron Room. It was called the Iron Room because it was made of corrugated iron. The roof, the sides, the end and the front. This is where the scouts would meet and you could hold a whist drive or a dance there. Next door to it was a little tin shed where Beds County Council highwaymen come and repaired the roads. A pothole, and it was done within 24 hours, and it was done properly then. A bit farther down the road on the left-hand side was Shorts. It wasn't a do-it-yourself shop then, it was like a garden centre. You wanted to buy some seed potatoes, that's where you go. You wanted to buy some seed beans, and they'd have a big sack and a measure that measured a pint of beans. So you'd buy a pint of beans, seed peas, onion sets, etc. Next door to that was Sammy Wiles, the cobblers. You wanted your shoe mended, that's where you would go. You go down a bit farther down King's Road, down the Station Road. On the left-hand side was the school, and we've got somebody here that'd like to say about when she went to the school. Helen, I think it is. That's all right.
Thank you very much. I'm told I've got a very loud voice, so just go if I'm too loud. May I just say a couple of things before I do so to give you a bit of background. I was born up by Creasy Farm on the cottages, in one of the cottages. My father had just come out of World War II convoys that went to Russia to deliver items for them. And I had an older brother, and John, my next brother, and my twin sister and I was born in those cottages at Creasy Farm. There was no water. My mum had to go and get the water from a well. The place was damp. It was a very difficult place for her. And then when the council houses were built, my dad was an agricultural worker on that farm, by the way, to get a place to live. And then when the councils built those houses, we went to 13 Sheepfold Hill, is where I was raised with my brothers. My younger brother Nigel was born there. And when I went dating, and if I met a bloke and he said, "Where do you live?" I said, 13 Sheepfold Hill, Flitwick. I think they made it up. I had a very hard time with that address. So let me just go back and thank you very much, Ellis, for giving me the time. This is a picture of me with my twin sister. I was born in 1946, so this would be 1951. And we went to the, from 5 until 7, down to that school. When we reached the age of 7, we went down the other school, which is in Dunstable Road, and I believe part of that school is listed still. Yeah, it was a youth club, but I think it's listed. So when I started school at this place, I can remember my first day, and I can remember this photo being taken, and I can remember the coronation of the Queen in '53, because I went up to the rector, looked through the village hall to see if I could watch her on the television, but I couldn't even reach the window. When she went on her Commonwealth tour, I can remember at this school a teacher saying to us in the class, You have all your holiday, I want you to fill a scrapbook of all the places that the Queen goes to visit. I thought, right, I'm going to get this prize. So I spent the whole 6 weeks touring, scouring through the papers and getting the scrapbook together. And when I went to school the first day, I can't remember anyone else showing the teacher, but she came up and she said, "You've won the prize." And what it was a beautiful embossed crown that was stuck into my scrapbook. So I remember that very fondly. The school was, I don't remember much of the school, the learning, but down at Dunstable Road, where we went when we were from 7 to 11, we had all the teaching that we needed. The first teacher I remember was Miss Carr. Her brother was the blacksmith. We were frightened to go past the blacksmith because we thought he was quite big, wasn't he, Alice? And he was quite foreboding. So then at the bottom, past the blacksmith, Alice, what was that inn called? Do you remember the inn? Sorry? That was the First Trees, was it? So we used to go in there and get sweets. Yeah. So when I grew up, we didn't mention somebody who I want to mention, and you may remember Mr. Lamb. He was the milkman down the avenue. He also used to sell apples at Christmas, and we'd get a box of apples at Christmas, and it used to permeate the house. I left Flitwick when I got married to my husband, and we moved to Luton, where we live now. Flitwick and Ellis and Mrs. Swannell, I remember an Yvonne Swannell. Is that any relation to you, Yvonne Swannell? No?
That's my auntie.
I'd like to speak to you afterwards. She's in my class. Thank you very much so far for all the information you've given. What I want to do, and if it's helpful for you, all of you, I want to find out who all these people are that's on this sheet. I know 8 of them, but if you could come up and see me after, and then perhaps I could let you have this list or put it on in your newsletter so we can find out who it was. I went to Redbourne School. I met some of you here, but I won't go into that. That's a completely different area, and I'll hand back to Ellis. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you for that. Opposite the school was a road called the Alley. There's no such road as Gravel Pit Lane, it was the Alley. Next to the school, there's a newsagent called Dick's. A lot of students going to the school would do a paper round before they went to school at 9 o'clock in the morning for some pocket money.
I was one of them.
There's one, there's 2 of them. Yeah. Thank you. It was Mr. Dix, wasn't it? Thank you. Opposite side of the road was the Crown. He also did the bar, and also he did a paraffin round. We'll just go down Water Lane for a bit, and we come across a man called George Elliott. I'll talk to you about him in a minute. We come back, and the next pub we come to on the corner was the White Horse, which is no more, run by the White family. And Archie White was a barber with a barber shop at the back of the thing. We then come to a builder, and his nickname, I'll tell you his nickname in a moment. He was a very strong chapel man, wouldn't swear. Everything was jolly. This jolly thing's broken, the jolly thing won't work, the jolly thing won't start. Everything was jolly. We then come to another shop called Cousins's, and that was a sister shop of the one at the top of King's Road. The opposite side of the road to the White Horse was Sabres Fields, market garden ground, which was exceptionally good because it had water to irrigate the crops in the summer. We then turned right down towards Greenfield, and we come to Flitwick Mill, run by the Goodmans. We now go along up Malden Road, and on the right-hand side, where they dig the bog. This was with George Eliot, the chap I mentioned lived down Water Lane. He had a little railway set down there with some trucks. He would dig the bog, cart it up to a concrete apron, and put lime on it. He then took it to the railway station, and I think it went to the gasworks for purification. We go a bit farther along Malden Road, and we come to Folly Farm, farmed by the Palmers. Perhaps you remember Bill Palmer. We go a bit farther along, we come to the Rucksock Farm, and I'm not sure when the Courses took it over, who was there before the Courses. We come back to the corner of Malden Road and King's Road. That was where Flitwick Ore Company were. And I think it was owned by a man called Mr. Frank Lake. He had quite a big business. He had an 8-wheeler tanker that used to go to Canby Island every day to fix the spirit back, discharge it so the smaller lorries could deliver it to the various farmers for paraffin, etc. Opposite side of the road, and it's still there, was either Hope Mission or Strong Chapel. Opposite side of the road was a man called Les Dilly, a potato merchant. We come up King's Road, and on the left-hand side up King's Road, we come to the rhubarb patch. It's now built on. Next door to the rhubarb patch was the tennis court and the bowling green. The bowls have taken over the tennis ground, and the tennis have moved to Millwright Way, but it's the Bowls Club centenary this year, I think. I don't know if there's any bowlers here. I think that's correct. There was also, on the same side, a men-only club. And the men-only club is still there with the snooker table, etc. And I think it must be one of the only clubs in the whole of the UK that has an honesty bar. Each member has a key to get in, and each member is trusted to put the money in the till and take the change to the drinks he buys. And it's still there and still going quite strong, let's say. A bit further on the left-hand side, we come to Billington's garage, where are the Austin Morris agents. On the side of the road, opposite the Bowls Club, was the Flitwick Chapel, Baptist Chapel, which is now, I think, called the King's Chapel. Opposite the garage, there's Air Equipment's stores, and this is where the ARP met. And the siren was there, so when the Luftwaffe came over, somebody was turning a handle, and the siren went off so the rest of the village could hear the Luftwaffe were coming. We then go over the bridge, and we'll go back down Stepney Road a little bit. On the left-hand side was the village hall, where the cricket club met and changed, and the football club, and I think the footballs were called the Flitwick Dynamos. Opposite side of the road was the entrance to the goods yard. It wasn't only goods coming into Flitwick, it was stuff going out as well. For instance, there was Charles Franklin, Ellison Everard, Charlie Beale, coal merchants. The coal would come in the trucks, and they would put it in 100-weight sacks and deliver it. There was also London Dung came to Flitwick. London had a lot of horse-driven vehicles, and the dung came to Flitwick. The farmers put it on the land and spread it, ploughed it in. There was also another product that came to Flitwick called shoddy. Shoddy came from Lancashire, and it was leftovers from the wool trade. That was also put on the land. Going outwards, as I say, was the peat and the bog that went to the gasworks, and also a lot of fruit and veg that went to London, to the markets. Most of it went to Covent Garden. Apart from one, and that was Priestley Farms produce, and the instructions were that his product was to go on the first truck past the engine and tender. he used Borough Market, which was the other side of the Thames, and he competed with the Garden of England. That was Kent. The reason he did it, and the way he got away with it, was quite smart. When the train got to as far as Kentish Town, it was the fireman's job to climb on the tender and spray all his vegetables with water from the tender. So when his product got to the Borough Market, it was always the freshest. Not only was it the freshest, it put weight on, and if his wine had one weight, he would score it again. I won't say he was a grandfather of mine, but he was.